just freestyle, bam, bam. Just like that. I didn't write it.
How does a woman whose voice helped shape modern music end up completely shut out of the wealth that voice created?
After the Reebok commercial, I seek legal advices and rush at them and they settled. They didn't, after 32 years I did the song, they didn't give me the money for 32 years without, and I didn't collect anything from it, but they give me 10 years back and forward.
That's the story of Sista Nancy, a trailblazer who rocked stages across the world, broke barriers in a male-dominated industry, and later watched artists like Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Beyonce build major success using a song she recorded while she was working a regular job at a bank in New Jersey, just trying to get by.
I work here, but I do a lot of work. I used to work in the bank, an accountant, 15 years, and I retired in 2016 because I have so much shows, I have so much work to do.
But when she finally discovered what had really happened to her music, the outcome was powerful. Now, before we get deeper into this story, there are two things you need to know. First, there's a reason the song Bam Bam wasn't even getting played in Jamaica when it first came out. And when Sista Nancy eventually heard it years later after moving to America, she was shocked.
I don't think you see the first time I performed. You have never seen. That was by 1990. Mm-hmm. That's before I become a Rastafarian, wear my dreadlocks. That's a long time.
Second, the way she finally reclaimed her royalties involved her daughter watching a Reebok commercial, a television and a legal battle that rarely took place.
After 2013-14, after they put it on that Reebok commercial, after the Reebok commercial, I seek legal advices and rush at them. This is too much. He said, this is too much. He said, you should own the whole thing. Right. After so many years. I tell him I don't want the whole thing. I just want what is rightful.
And the twist waiting in the middle of this story, most people never see it coming. January 2nd, 1962. Kingston, Jamaica. A baby girl is born who will one day leave a permanent mark on music history. Her name is Offlin Russell. She grew up in a crowded household, 15 children, one small home, and a very strict upbringing. Offlin is raised in an environment where children are expected to be respectful, quiet, and obedient. Her father is a pastor. Her mother runs church services right from their home. 2 bedrooms for 15 kids, and the rest of the house is dedicated to church activities. This was not the kind of home where rebellion was welcome.
I born at a home that's like 2 bedrooms and the rest of the house is church. My father and mother always have a church. We're like Christian-minded people, Rastafarians, and God-fearing.
But Offlin Russell had a spirit that couldn't easily be controlled. Her older brother Robert, better known as Brigadier Jerry, was already making a name for himself on Jamaica's sound system scene. He was performing, DJing, and building his reputation in the streets of Kingston. And young Offlin paid attention to everything he was doing. By the time she reached her mid-teens, the strict rules around her began to feel overwhelming. So she started leaving home for long periods, sometimes for months. She followed a DJ known as Junior Chalice around Jamaica, watching closely and learning the craft of DJing. Then one day in Street Thomas, when she was just 15 years old, Junior Chalice finally handed her the microphone. She performed in front of a crowd, and something inside her shifted.
My mother and father did not approve because, I was born different and grow different from my brothers and sisters. We call it a roughneck. We grow like that.
Later, she would say that moment changed everything. From that point forward, the fear was gone. At 16, she made up her mind. Music was gonna be her life. But that choice didn't come without consequences, especially with her family. Because what she stepped into next had never been done before. When Sista Nancy entered the dancehall scene, she wasn't simply a woman performing in a male-dominated space. She was the only woman doing it. A single female voice surrounded by dozens of male DJs who didn't think she belonged there. Some audiences booed her. Some people told her to give up the microphone. Others said she had no future in the business. But her brother Brigadier Jerry always supported her.
Man dominated this. Like now, it's mostly men, and I was the lone female among many men, including my brother who got me started. That's Brigadier Jerry. He was the one who he was motivated by him.
By 1976, she was regularly performing on sound systems like Jah Love Music and 12 Tribes of Israel, learning the craft night after night. For 3 years, she kept building her skills and confidence. But here's something important. She wasn't being paid.
creators, comedians. It's time to stop giving your talents away. This is Frankie Baby Fantastic from Fantastic Media Group TV. We now have a pay-per-view channel built for independent creators and comedians. Here you get paid for your talents, not months later, not after exposure. And while your show lives on the pay-per-view, you'll keep getting paid from your audience and our audience too. Stand-ups, roast battles, comedy competitions, one-night specials, original content. Bring your content to Fantastic Media Group. Let's build the event. Let's go pay-per-view and let's get you paid.
Welcome to Fantastic Media Group TV, your premier destination for independent content.
Jewish people run Hollywood.
Hollywood is run by Jews.
Lies and deceit, lies and deceit. That's why I did this film. More than often, it's the things that are omitted from the story that helps to paint a picture that just isn't true. Because immigrants plunder through America filing patents and stating claim in the name of the Queen. That's why I did this film. However, we have been lied to for so long, I think it's rather important for us to understand how deep the monopoly is, how deep the rabbit hole goes. Images help to shape our reality. And Hollywood has basically achieved a total sovereignty over the world's movies. And that's why they do not teach you this in film school. Now showing at FantasticMGTV.com. Now showing on Fantastic Media Group TV, the People's Network.
For 3 years, she kept building her skills and confidence. But here's something important. She wasn't being paid. All that work, all those performances, and no real money, and that detail becomes very important later. Then in 1980, things began to shift. Producer Winston Riley noticed her talent and invited her into the studio. Her first recorded single was called Papa Dean.
Took me to Mr. Riley, so I did those songs back in those days. But people think 1-2 is my first song. No, Papa Dean was my first song in 1970.
But nobody involved, not the producer, not her brother, and not even Sister Nancy herself could predict what was about to happen. By 1982, her career was moving quickly. She was recording frequently, performing constantly, and making history. She became the first female DJ ever to perform at Reggae Sunsplash. She also became the first Jamaican female DJ to tour internationally.
I'm the first one who started this. I'm the one who took it internationally. I'm the one who toured first, Sunsplash. I'm the first woman DJ who do all of them things.
That same year, she released her debut album, 1-2, several songs gained attention, Money Can't Buy Me Love, Transport Connection, and collaborations with artists like Yellowman. But the song that would change everything wasn't even considered the biggest track on the album. It was number 10 on the track list, a song called Bam Bam. The part many people don't realize is that she recorded it very quickly without any idea it would become legendary. At the time, it was just another song in the session.
I'll be truthful, when I living in Jamaica, I never hear Bam Bam played there. The tune that I had played there was 1-2. 1-2 and Transport Connection.
But that one recording would eventually define her entire career. During the early 1980s, Sister Nancy began touring internationally with the Jah Love Music Sound System. She performed at Brixton Town Hall in London, worked with producer Henry Junjo Laws, and built a strong reputation as a performer. But despite all the activity shows, recordings, and growing popularity, something wasn't right. The money wasn't reaching her. Her voice was spreading worldwide, but the financial rewards were nowhere to be found.
At the time that I was young, I just wanted my voice on the radio, that's all. Everybody wanted to hear the voice on the radio. So if a producer approach you, and remember, we don't get paid for this.
Years passed. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, the music industry was changing. Dance hall was evolving, and Sister Nancy eventually stepped away from the spotlight. In 1996, she moved from Jamaica to the United States. She settled in New Jersey and started working a regular job. She became an accountant at a bank. For 15 years, she lived a quiet life, working 9 to 5 and handling financial transactions for other people. Music became something from the past.
Trust me, it wasn't easy living, working a 9-to-5 job, and people may think that because I was an accountant working in a bank, I make all this money. No, I ain't make no damn money.
She occasionally performed at small events, but most of her focus was simply on maintaining stability.
I work in the bank for 16 years, and I know that wasn't what I was supposed to do because I've been doing music since I was 15 years old. But it was something that I had to do at the time coming to a different country.
What she didn't realize was that the song Bam Bam was quietly becoming one of the most influential reggae tracks ever recorded. In 1998, the song appeared in the film Belly, directed by Hype Williams. Sister Nancy was sitting at home in New Jersey watching television when her daughter suddenly pointed it out. That moment would start to change everything.
Nobody called me for Belly. I was just home watching TV, HBO, and that's where I saw it. So I recorded it on a VCR. That's how I saw Belly. It's in that movie.
But first, there was something she had to learn. When producer Winston Riley registered the copyright for Bam Bam, the ownership information did not list Orphan Russell or Sister Nancy. Instead, the copyright included Riley's name and another name, Nancy White, a person who didn't exist. The result was that Riley controlled the royalties connected to the song, and Sister Nancy had no idea this had happened.
They didn't even have my name on there. The person that he had on there was Techniques Winston Riley and Nancy White, not me.
After seeing the movie Belly, she contacted Riley. He reassured her that everything regarding the song was fine. But while she trusted his word, the song continued to spread. More artists began sampling it. It appeared in television shows, advertisements, and films. By 2014, the song had been sampled dozens of times. And still, Sister Nancy had not received proper compensation.
When the commercial with the Reebok come out, I still didn't get anything. But it's when Reebok came out now, I said I have to get serious, and that's when I decided to take them to court.
Eventually, artists like Kanye West and Jay-Z also used the song.
He didn't go behind my back. He called up Gravy and they talked and we went. And that's the best thing. That's the best way to do it. At least I'm a part of it. And he was right when he did it. So that's my best sample right there.
Jay-Z even reached out to her directly and involved her in the process when he worked with Damian Marley.
I went to the studio with him. I didn't wear no shoes. I was barefoot. I just leave out of my yard and straight to the studio and tell him, my man is just a man. You're a man. You look for me. I didn't look for you. So I'm more important than you. So everybody who uses it pleases me. At least, it keeps me alive. And I'm happy about that. And she's not the only one. And I love her. And her husband told me that's her best song.
Meanwhile, Sister Nancy was still working at the bank. Then came the moment that changed everything. One day, she was sitting in her living room while her daughter was watching television. A commercial came on. It was a Reebok advertisement, and in the background was Bam Bam. The realization hit her hard. More than 3 decades had passed since she recorded that song, and she had never received payment from it.
It was okay with me because, after realizing that I wasn't getting anything for 32 years, I was just, trust me, it wasn't easy.
That moment pushed her to finally take legal action.
They used to pick who mattered. TV, corporations, gatekeepers. That shit is over. 2026, it's about you. Your personality, your voice, your fans. Fantastic Media Group pay-per-view, you perform. You get paid that night. And the content keeps earning while it lives on pay-per-view. No fake clout, no begging brands, no middleman. If people fuck with you, they'll pay. Bring your content. Build your fandom, get paid. This ain't Hollywood, this Fantastic Media Group, the People's Network.
Unlock exclusive benefits by subscribing to Fantastic Media Group TV streaming platform. Enjoy monthly media production discounts for your business, product, brand, or service. Download the Fantastic Media Group TV streaming app now. At Fantastic Media Group, we empower your independence. Whether it's business, products, services, music, or events, we've got you covered. Experience top-tier creation, motivation, and presentation across all industries. Join us at Fantastic Media Group and take your vision to the next level.
Shout out to Fantastic Media Group.
Shout out to the Fantastic Media Group.
Fantastic Media Group. I want to thank you personally.
Subscribe to Fantastic Media Group's streaming platform and enjoy monthly media production discounts for your business, product, brand, and or service. And please don't forget, this message has been brought to you by Fantastic Media Group, the People's Network.
Welcome to Fantastic Media Group TV, your premier destination for independent content.
Finally take legal action. Attorneys became involved and the case began moving forward. The company quickly agreed to settle outside of court. The agreement gave Sister Nancy 50% ownership of Bam Bam, future royalty payments, and compensation covering 10 years of past royalties. Not the full 32 years she deserved, but it was still a major step.
After 32 years I did the song, they didn't give me the money for 32 years without, and I didn't collect anything from it, but they give me 10 years back and forward. So now I have 50% rights.
Later, she explained that receiving something was better than continuing to receive nothing at all.
This is too much. They say you should own the whole thing after so many years. I tell him I don't want the whole thing. I just want what is rightful mine.
Despite everything that had happened, she chose not to pursue a case that would destroy Winston Riley's estate. That decision reflected her character. Then, in 2016, another major moment arrived. After 15 years working at the bank, Sister Nancy finally walked away from that job.
Man, I was on the computer. And I see, because I give them all my information and everything. I was on the computer. I have a zero balance. Think about $750 balance. I hold the bank $750. And I see this. I said, what the hell? I said, no. But it finished that same day.
She retired from accounting and returned to music full time. Soon, she was performing again around the world. Jamaica, New York, London, Mexico, Florida, and California. Even in her 60s, she continued performing with incredible energy. Then, in 2025, something historic happened. Her 1,982 album 1-2 finally entered the Billboard Reggae Albums chart, reaching number 3 more than 40 years after it was originally released. That same year, a documentary about her life, Bam Bam, The Sister Nancy Story, premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival. The screening sold out and received standing ovations. The film is scheduled for a wider release in 2026. Today, Sister Nancy lives in North Carolina near her daughter and continues touring internationally.
I perform my cry, but people don't know. They think it's sweat. But would I perform my cry to see how people react to me? And, after all of these years.
The song that Jamaica once overlooked is now widely considered one of the most important reggae songs ever recorded. And her story has become an example for artists everywhere, especially women in dancehall, about the importance of protecting creative ownership, because Sister Nancy's journey proves something powerful.
100% culture DJ, and I can't change that for love nor money. I don't dilute, I don't mix, and I don't blend culture. It's straight culture. The woman them know is what they see going on, that's what they follow.
The industry may try to silence you. It may try to take credit for your work. It may even convince you that you don't deserve what belongs to you. But if you stand up and fight for your rights, you can change the outcome. Sister Nancy didn't just record Bam Bam. She created a movement that continues to influence music around the world. And even though it took more than 30 years for the industry to finally recognize her contribution, her voice still stands as proof that persistence can win in the end. And that right there is the real lesson in this story. Sister Nancy didn't just create a hit song, she created culture, she created influence, she created something the entire world used for decades. But for 32 years, she didn't own it. Think about that. Her voice was everywhere. Movies, commercials, hip-hop records, global performances, but the ownership was somewhere else. And that's the difference between being part of the culture and owning the culture. Because when you don't control your work, somebody else will profit from it. That's why conversations like this matter. At Fantastic Media Group TV, this is exactly what we talk about. Ownership, independence, building platforms instead of just performing on them. Too many creators, artists, and entrepreneurs are out here creating value while someone else is collecting the checks. Sister Nancy's story is a reminder to every artist, every creator, and every entrepreneur watching this. Protect your work, understand your contracts, and most importantly, own what you create. Because when you own it, the legacy stays with you. And that's what Fantastic Media Group TV is. About highlighting stories that inspire people to think bigger, move smarter, and build something they actually control. If you believe in independence, if you believe in ownership, and if you believe creators should benefit from the culture they create, then make sure you subscribe to Fantastic Media Group TV. Because around here, we're not just talking about success. We're talking about ownership, and ownership is everything.
Welcome to Fantastic Media Group TV, your premier destination for independent content.